think we can all agree that we want our young leaders to exhibit certain characteristics. I think that God wants leaders to exhibit certain characteristics which he lays out very plainly in the Bible. And one of the most important of those, I think, is humility. We read about humility in the Bible constantly, in the Old and New Testament. We read about leaders who don't exhibit humility, and then we read about leaders who do exhibit humility. So I'm going to define humility as knowing your place. I know that's kind of crass and it sounds kind of simple, but really I think it is that simple. You look at who God is and you read about him in the scriptures, and he's high and he's lifted up and he's magnified, and then you read about you and you're not, you're sinful and you're finite and you're down here, and when you get a picture of who God is and who you are, you know your place. So basically, how do we teach humility? I think it's very difficult. In fact, I don't think that we can teach humility. I think that we can model humility. And as leaders, I think we have to model humility, especially to our students. But as far as teaching it, it's not like you can assign a worksheet and say, hey, this is what humility is, now do it. I don't think it works that way. And I don't think any amount of teaching on our part, and I don't think amount of any activities on the student's part is going to teach humility. I think we can model it, but not teach it. So how do they learn it? I think the only way that they learn it is by getting into the scriptures. The only way that they learn it is by spending time with God. And if they're not going to do that, then I don't think they're going to learn true humility. And we all know that false humility is not something that we want our leaders to have, because we can whiff that out very, very quickly, and so can everybody else. So when we go to teach humility, I think what we really need to do is model humility, and then we need to show our students into the scriptures and say, spend some time with God, spend some time in the scriptures, get to know who God is, get to know how grand he is, how glorious he is, how big he is, and get to know yourself. Now I think really we know ourselves, but we really need to read the scriptures and see just how low we are. And when we do that, we're going to know our place. And when we know our place, then we really start to know what God has for us.